this can't be fixed. Worthless. Junk. Oh well. Time for some modding. Longest Jake here to do a quick little video on modding, my results of modding the Nerf Elite Rukkus ICS 8. This is a failed mod. Quite simply, I went through all the normal steps that you would do. Completely tore this thing down. Let's just get rid of this shell. I tore it down. I removed all the air restrictor, cleared it out, padded up the plunger head, did try to remove some of the dead space, because there is a ton in there. Basically from here forward of that plunger tube is all dead space. The plunger head stops here. You can actually, if I can get up here to some light, it was almost translucent enough. Yeah, actually you can kind of make the outline if my camera will focus. Come on, little Sony. There, that's actually the seal right there at the tip of my finger. It's a little fuzzy, I know, but there we go. You can actually see that that's the front part of the plunger head, and there's the back part. The rest from here forward is all dead space. Now, you'd ask yourself, why in the world is there, let me grab a ruler. You'd ask yourself, why is there 3/4 of an inch, as I'm showing you here, that's where the plunger head stops. Why is there 3/4 of an inch of dead space in what's already only a very small plunger tube? Who knows? Ask Hasbro. They're so awesome at designing these blasters. Tongue in cheek, of course. But basically, I put in, here's a spring I used, a 5 kilogram Alpha Hawk spring. It did fit. It fit fine. It was the proper spring. I had a 4.5 kilogram strong arm spring. It also would have fit. Probably should have tried the 4.5. That one of those springs I ended up using into a Busby Sentry mod that I did. But this here failed on a 5 kilogram spring. Keep in mind, my Alpha Hawk is actually running a 6.5 kilogram Orange Modworks spring right now. There is actually the plunger rod, the back end of it. Get that to slide around. As you can tell, it's completely detached and snapped right there. And I'm tilting that so you can see there is not much material there. That is a U-shaped plunger rod with very little material. Can it be repaired? Oh, I'm sure. Am I going to? I might repair it just to make the thing functional again on a stock spring. But that is a very, very wimpy little plunger rod. And yes, plunger tube as well. But that plunger rod is very, very weak. That is not much plastic. I mean, for comparison, here's the size of my finger. And I don't have chubby fingers. That is absolutely diminutive. And that's the problem. There's just not enough material there to support an increase in spring weight. You would have to, I would believe you're going to have to construct a custom plunger rod in order to modify this. The only thing I can think of is possibly epoxying in a metal rod that fits that gap. Put a metal rod in there that runs underneath the length of it. Fill in, any of the gaps with epoxy to hold it in, so that it has a little extra strength there. And that's about all you could possibly do. But of course, anytime you add weight to a plunger rod, that's weight that spring has to push forward, which detracts from performance. And already this thing was just barely hitting so-called elite standards of around 70 feet per second. And you kind of start to ask yourself, is the blaster worth modifying? Other than taking it on for a personal challenge, I do not see this blaster as being worth anything for mod-wise. And a lot of people are probably going to agree and say, oh, well, of course, it's only got an 8-shot integrated clip. Why would you even try to modify it? And point being is, I want to tinker. I want to try. And it just failed. It failed. And this is starting to highlight a lot of what my recent disappointment in Nerf is. A lot of subpar performing blasters with less than acceptable engineering. I mean, that's just a failure of engineering, because the $6 or $7, depending on where you buy it, Buzzbee Jaguar is a smaller and far more compact blaster that outperforms the Rukkus in stock form and can easily handle far higher spring rates. I've modified them at 7 kilograms, and even 9 kilograms is my plan for the future. I'm going to try a 9 kilogram Jaguar, but I've already modified a few of them at 7 kilograms and never had a failure. And this thing fails on a 5 kilogram spring. So my final verdict is only buy the Rukkus if you just want something that's not going to use magazines and you don't want to use anything else and you don't want to try other brands, because, I mean, good grief, just go buy a Buzzbee Jaguar or the Dart Zone Havoc. 8-shot clips, side prime. You can buy extra clips. This thing's integrated and you're not going to get extra clips, except, well, I guess I got one now. If anybody wants a Rukkus ICS-8 clip, or if I buy a second one and do a drop clip mod maybe, well, that'd be the only use for this thing. But this Mongoose Jake, with basically my recommendation is to stay away from this blaster unless you're just going to run it completely stock and you don't really care and you just don't want to run mags, and you really are absolutely dead set on Nerf, because otherwise, like I said, Buzzbee Jaguar, the Dart Zone Havoc, better choices, cheaper price, better performance when stock, and especially with the Jaguar, far better designed internals that are able to handle way higher spring loads and do far more performance-wise when modded. This is Mongoose Jake, signing out. Hope you enjoyed this. It's not really the most positive of videos, when normally my videos are very positive. But again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.